Hey, this is Dan here from Rune Silk, and I'm joined by one other, and that's none other than Damo for show. And this is the BeardMail podcast. So sit back, listen, and enjoy.
Double D's, Damo and Dan. Let's do the hook, Dan. Let's do the hook.
You're listening to the BeardMail podcast.
Beard mistakes.
Oh, beard mistakes. The biggest mistake you can make. Sorry to interrupt this broadcast, but I've just been sent a message. The world's biggest chicken wing festival is coming back to Manchester. So I can't do this podcast this week because I need to go and find the chicken that I've just been kindly sent. Big mistakes.
Hang on. We need to talk about the chicken wing situation because we're big foodies now. Remember? So did it say the biggest chicken wing festival? So you get there and it's just one chicken wing and you have to share
massive chicken wings. Everyone's there with little knives and forks.
Or does it mean you get there and there's just loads of different sorts of chicken wings to try with loads of different flavorousness?
I think it's exactly that latter one. So Wing Fest is back. This summer, the world's biggest wing festival returned to Manchester, bringing together the UK's very best to serve a whopping 200,000 wings over a 2-day period.
Buck.
Tap, book now, let's go.
So that was me actually trying to be a chicken, like book. Like, how did?
Sorry, I thought you were saying book, as in like book it.
Like, I was doing we have to do one ASMR a session, Dan. But it's not working. Much better. Much better.
So the beard mistakes. I mean, that beard mistake is eating wings in public with a massive beard. Although I did actually go and have wings last night, and I successfully didn't get any hot sauce or cheese sauce or Stilton or chicken in my beard. I was picking at it, taking the smallest of little pieces and placing them in my mouth ever so delicately. But beard mistakes. If you don't know how to eat food in public with a massive beard, just don't eat out in public when you've got a massive beard.
We are literally talking about all the mistakes you could make. So this is aimed primarily at people that haven't got massive beards or haven't got beards who haven't even had beards for very long. Really, we can just use our wealth of knowledge and information, years and years and years of experience, and also knowledge in the industry as well. Not even necessarily mistakes we've made, but mistakes we've seen other people make. We can advise and guide and help. But yeah, eating is one of them. Not necessarily a mistake, but I tell you what would be the mistake per se, because we want to have solutions as well, right? Dan? We want to have mistakes and resolutions and solutions.
Yeah. My solution was don't eat chicken wings in public. That is the solution.
I would say that one of the mistakes you can make is to go and have something to eat without having ample serviettes.
Yeah.
And the solution is to have ample serviettes.
This is gonna be too easy, isn't it? It's like can't eat in public, don't eat in public. Don't have any serviettes, take some serviettes.
Yeah.
No, it's a good shout, because I always find my biggest. I mean, I'm trying to work the tash at the minute, and I'm getting really frustrated with it, and I've nearly taken it off so many times because I'm like, tash is really getting on my nerves. But I'm just about getting to that point where, do you know what, the persistence is starting to pay off. But so for me now, like, I think I should just take a little knife and fork inside pocket, ready to go, because even a sandwich I have to probably eat with a knife and fork now, because I did watch a video by Stuart from Fine Fettle, and he did explain how to use the teeth to really bite into it. And corner to corner to corner. And I did a sort of a counter video. It was more of a live on Instagram, and I produced the 12-inch sub from Subway, and I was like, well, what am I supposed to do with that? There's no corners. Like, I've just got there is no corner on a sub. So knife and fork it is.
I think you should just go balls deep, just get it all in, have the mess and all that, and enjoy the prospect of eating. There's nothing worse, I think, than having to eat nicely to appease somebody else. And I absolutely hate it when I'm having something to eat and people go, "Oh, there's something in your beard." I'm like, yeah, it's going to happen. I'll mop myself up at the end of the dinner. You know what I mean? Anyway,
it's rice. It's rice for me. I find rice is the biggest nightmare. Sometimes I don't know what a little grain of rice will roll off like the spoon. I remember going out to someone's birthday recently. I say recently, it was a few months back now, but went out and I rushed my Thai green curry and I smashed it down really quickly so I could go and have a pint and buy my mate's missus a beer for her birthday. And I got there and my mate was like, I think you've got a bit of rice in your beard, dude.
It's supposed to be there. Get off. What's it got to do with you? It's mine.
I was being authentic, It's like, but yeah. So I think, and for that, I think if you do struggle with that, just make sure you've got a decent comb in your pockets. I mean, if you do go in somewhere, just brush it because you've probably got food in your beard and stick a nice
comb
comb
the
through
rice through your beard nicely and
feed the
extricate
rats.
it.
Feed the
Hey,
rats.
you were talking about moustaches actually, and this is one of my top tips that I usually only give away for DBFCers, but ultimately, and I think it's because I did it for a long time. I used to trim my tash a lot, and I have a thin tash anyway. Some people are blessed and they can get massive tashes all by themselves, but mine's quite a thin naff tash anyway. But I always used to trim it off the lip, or I wouldn't be brave enough when I've gone to the barbers to tell them to not trim it off the lip, and they would naturally just trim it off the lip. And I actually now believe that there is a tash to beard ratio that must be sought after, and it is everyone's personal preference, and some people don't like it coming over their lip, but I actually think some of the best beards, they have a decent tash to go with it that is styled and trained. As we've mentioned, Stu from Fine Fettle, he would always say train it, don't trim it. But those tashes that do come over here and are nice big ones with this sort of length beard, I'm talking like 6 inches for those of you listening on Spotify, you need to have a decent weight of tash. I think shorter than that you can get away with trimming your tash, but I genuinely wish that I'd never ever trimmed it off my lip, and I wish I'd have gone through the pain, which can be months and months and months of training to get it right. But yeah, so in fact, to encourage you right now, Dan, I would say one of the biggest mistakes I ever made was trimming my tash regularly in the early days. I wish I'd never done it. So push through, Dan, push through and keep going.
I am pushing through, but having a good barber as well, because I noticed that actually I was managing to connect quite a lot of my beard hair into my tash and automatically started trying to curl that up with it. And he was sort of said to go, and at one point I said, can you just trim that bit off because it's really long? He was like, Dan, that's your beard. Like, look, watch. And just took it and just pulled it down and was like, look, there you go. Now it's fine. It's just your beard. So it is difficult for me. I find what can be quite frustrating is when you eat a sandwich and it sort of pulls it in, and then you're like that. You're trying to fish it out because you've got food in your mouth already, and you're just like, oh God, just got to fish hook this out. And there's always one bit that's like caught. And you're like, oh, get out.
We've all been there.
But I think the biggest tip anyway, if we're going to go for tips and beard care tips, the best thing you can do for yourself is go and find. You need a decent barber. Don't just go to the hairdresser you've gone to for years, who's cut your hair and you know them by first name basis, and you think, oh, they'll be fine cutting my beard. Ring some barbers up and just say, look, do you first things first, like if your hairdresser doesn't specifically state on their menu, because most of them have got menus or price lists now, right? If they don't specifically say beard trimming, and some of them now, like my barber, says short beard and long beard. They have it separately. You book it. If they don't have anything about beards, don't go in the barbers. Like, go and find a barber that will do it, because that's one of the biggest things. I always see on the Facebook groups is, I went for a trim. And then cue awkward photo with them, and they've like kind of gone, oh, I feel really depressed now because my barber took off loads of bit like, beard hair. Like, what does your barber look like? Are they clean shaven? Have they ever had a beard? Like, do they know what a beard is? Are they actually a woman? It's quite an art finding a decent barber. And when you find a decent barber, be faithful to that barber, because they will help you grow. Like my barber, he helps me prepare for beard comps. Like we're already preparing for OPs in May. It's great because I was trying to get the fullness. He's like, I went for a trim, believe it or not, the other day, and he was like, I'm just going to take these bits off. And then when you come in 2 weeks before the comp or the week before the comp, we're going to have a really good sort of sculpt to go for. So I'm going quite 8 inches for OPs, right back short for TBBMC. So we've already got it planned with my barber, how we're going to sort of schedule that in. So biggest tip, don't cut yourself.
I would say one of the biggest mistakes people make, other than not going to a decent barber, would be that not having the confidence to speak up whilst in the barbers, and they would literally sit there and just be typically British and let somebody chop away and not say anything until afterwards, and then be like, oh God, I wish I'd have said something. Also, just to be said, actually, so we don't offend anybody, there are some fabulous lady barbers out there. You don't necessarily have to have a big beard to understand how to do a big beard, but it is about the conversation. And I think if you can have a decent conversation with the barber before they get the scissors or clippers anywhere near your beard, that is actually the solution to anything. And also you've got to take responsibility, and you've got to say, look, I know what I want, I know how I'm going to explain it to the barber, I know what questions I'm going to ask them, and I know whether I'm going to sit in the chair and let them cut it, or whether I'm going to say, actually, don't touch the beard today, just the hair, and then go and find somebody else. And there's loads of people in the community that will help. In my group, I've done loads of videos on this because I feel really bad for people when I see the pictures in Facebook groups where someone's had an horrendous experience at barbers. I feel really bad, and I'm like, I'm trying to help people to make sure they ask the right questions. I've actually done a couple of interviews with some barbers, and then got it from their perspective as well, because the barber needs to know what you want. So yeah, I mean, a big mistake is going to a barber's and getting it chopped off. I mean, there's so many mistakes you can make as you're growing your beard out. But yeah, going to a barber's, getting it trimmed off is one. Having a go yourself in the early stages, and probably even just
Put the scissors down.
Even just considering like trimming so much in the early stages, people don't realize how long it takes to grow. I've had my beard for 8 years, and so you have to give it 3 months, 5 months, 6 months before you even want to start thinking about trimming. But it's a novelty for people. They've just got a beard, they're 2 weeks in, they're thinking about, oh, what should I do now? Should I just tidy this bit up, or should I just do that? It's like, seriously, you just leave it. And even I know a lot of people say 3 months, but even 6 months, you've just got to be really patient. So I think one of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that they need to trim or tidy or shape or touch it. Like, I think patience is what people really need. So the solution is patience, but also ask people that know. Ask people like me and Dan who have got massive beards that have done this. There's nothing new to bearding. Everyone knows what it's all about. Beards have been around for millennia.
Yeah, it's always really, really tempting, isn't it? And I've done it myself. I've taken the scissors to it, and I've kind of gone like, oh no, I've got to sort that bit out. And, oh no, I've got to sort that bit out. And then you go up, and you keep going up, and you keep cocking it up. Then you go, do you know what? I'm going to take the clippers out. We'll start again. Bollocks to it. Yeah. Oh, just before we move on, alluding to the female barber. Actually, I wasn't saying you shouldn't get your hair cut by a female barber. Most female barbers are actually probably better than men, especially if they like men with beards, because you just sort of say, do you like beards? And they go, yeah, I love beards. And you go, cool, what would look good on me? And you kind of play it that way. So a lot of female barbers are a lot better than male barbers. I wasn't being sexist in any way, shape or form there. Just to
I think it was more you explaining about understanding what it's like to have a beard, which is fine. Obviously, if you had a choice, you go and see Bright Eva up in Blackpool. He's got a beautiful, massive beard, and he's a barber. So you're in good hands. But that said, I can't remember the lady's name or even where which barber she was from, but she pops up a lot. A lot of people recommend her.
She see her on Instagram quite a lot.
Yeah, I want to say her name's Kelly or something from somewhere. But I'm not in the mix for looking for a barber. The first lady who ever did my hair and beard was Alice Morgan, wife of Stuart in rugby, and she was literally training to do beards, and I was her protege as I was growing my beard. So we sort of went on that journey together for a little while, but now I just do mine myself. I just very rarely the tiniest little, and we've got the likes of Matt Wall doing tips and videos and that for us as well. So I wouldn't say that I've only been doing it myself successfully for the last year or two. In the earlier days when you've had to go at it, it's really hard to do, to be fair. There is an art and a skill and a talent, but less is more. Less is more. That's a massive tip for everyone.
Absolutely.
Less is more.
Yeah, because you can't put it back on. Once it's gone, it's off. So, whereas you take a bit off, you can always take a bit more off. I think one of my biggest tips, and I always see quite a lot of this for beard styling, for example. When it comes to using a balm, most people go, oh, you need to put product on after you use the hairdryer. But the way that I style my beard, I mean, I was quite lazy today. I should have actually done something a bit more with it for the podcast, but it's audio based mainly when it comes onto YouTube, you can see it. But it's people. A lot of people kind of blast the heat on and go, "Oh, you can't put oil on and then hair dry your beard." And I'm like, why are you using the high heat? Like, if you think about it, if you're styling your beard with a balm, what does beeswax do in cold temperatures?
Gets hard.
Precisely. So if you
Gets hard. Sorry, that sounded like a good ASMR moment.
gets really hard and stiff and that. So I would say, so my tip for people, if you want a straightened beard, dry your beard off, because obviously, you know, you want to get the water away from the skin anyway, because that's what a lot of people get issues with is when the water sits on the skin, they then chuck a load of beard balm or beard oil on it. The beard oil then sits on the beard, and the water then sits on the chin, and the oil sits between the water and the chin, sort of locking in that water. Water then actually starts irritating your skin, and so you've got to just get it dry. But then use the balm and then blast it with the cold feature on your hairdryer. Most people don't think I've got a cold function on my hairdryer. They just go blast it with heat, get it really straight. Arrgh! I'm like, no, get it straight, blast it with cold, set the wax. Like no one talks about the cold air in your beard and using a hairdryer. That, and you know if your beard's dry, because if you run the cold air through it, your chin's cold. If your chin's cold, it ain't dry. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's my biggest tip. That's just my cheeky tip.
Biggest mistake is misuse of a hairdryer. Biggest tip: get that cold button on the go.
Get the cold button on the go.
A bit of cold to set.
Yeah, because obviously you see people. We had a chat before, didn't we, about like the beard brushes and the heated brushes and that sort of thing. And so I wouldn't put a heated brush through my beard. You know, a few people say you can achieve the same thing with a round brush and a hairdryer. You know, you have to remember, if you're going to be applying heat, you have to look after it. You know, so, but you know, lo and behold, you know, the cold button is your friend for setting. Like if you want a good firm hold, like beeswax will go hard when it's cold. So you can warm it up with the low to medium setting, sculpt the beard, cold blast, set like a beast.
I do that more so on my tash, actually. When I'm doing my tash good, I always get a bit of cold blow. I like what you've done there.
I reckon that could probably get us a few thousand likes on TikTok.
I don't know why we bother doing all these interesting informational things. We should just do ASMR whacking our beards on our Yetis.
I reckon we could get at least 100,000 followers, like proper like whoosh, 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 just by rubbing our beards on a mic. I'm telling you, there's people out there that will love this. They'll be all over.
You know, many years ago, someone's going to steal this idea now, but many years ago, I said that I was going to do Beard Station, which was like Babe Station, but for beards. This was before OnlyFans was a thing. I think if we just threw yogurt in our beards and just filmed it, we'd get millions then.
Yeah, because people like, not only that, I mean, if you look at like the beard versus food stuff, I mean, that's massive, right? And it's literally just people just eating like foods that are almost nigh on impossible to eat with the beard. Ice cream, for example, you know, without a spoon, you know, just a complete, like, literally they're like, oh yeah, I can't get it in my mouth. I'm not even trying, you know, but that kind of stuff gets really, really big views, doesn't it? Because it's just, I don't know, people are entertained by people doing some stupid stuff. But should we just do one? Should we try one like next week?
Let's just do stupid. Should we let's do a food eating challenge?
Oh, that'd be a really weird one for the audio. It'd be good for the visual, but I think for the audio one, it'd just be like.
No, they have to guess. They have to guess what we're eating.
Oh, guess the food if you're listening live on the podcast.
Yeah. Hang on, Dan. Let's park these ideas for behind the scenes.
Oh yeah, we're not talking about ideas. This is a brainstorming session. We're talking about tips, tricks, and what not to do with the beard.
Beard mistakes. What about beard? I'll tell you what. Dyeing. I've seen some dyeing. I think I actually did this once. I dyed my beard, and I was so intent on filming the process of it so I could use it and share it and all that. I left the dye on for too long, and it came out and it was so deep dark black, which I think looked stupid. I think there's nothing wrong with dyeing your beard. However,
get the color right.
The color's got to be right. Also, I did a lot of research actually when a question came up in DBFC, because most people just go to Tesco's and it's just for men and that's it. There's actually loads of other more natural dyeing products available out there. And you can get them on Amazon and you can get them direct from websites that look a bit more better and natural for your beard, but it's all about the color. Because that black looked really, really black, and I felt like it looked silly. But it didn't last for long, you know. It's a couple of weeks and it sort of, you know, changed. But 1,000,000%, I think dyeing is a big mistake, and I would say to people, always err on the side of caution and go for a lighter one and build it up. It's the same as, you know, when you're going for a trim, have a little bit less is more. With the hair dye, less is more, and you can always build up. You can't go backwards. So have you ever dyed your beard? Because I can see it's taking a turn now, isn't it?
It's going quite grey. Yeah, so I did used to dye my beard, and I once got my missus. I said, babe, can you pick me up some of that just for men from Tesco? And she's like, yeah. So it's light brown. She's like, it's not, your beard's not light brown though, is it? I was like, it's light brown, babe. It's light brown. So she brings me back the box, and the model on the front of the box looks like his name's probably Hernandez. And I'm like, babe, his beard's black, practically dark brown / black. She's like, no, it'd be fine, honestly. I was like, no, babe, like it's black. So I dyed my beard with it, and I look like an knob because I've got like quite, I've got brown hair, and my beard was jet black. It was ridiculous. Like I didn't know I couldn't go out because people they would look at you like something is not right with this guy's face. Like, and the worst thing is they go, have you dyed your beard? I'm like, No, I'm just really blessed with this Arabic beard and this really kind of Scandinavian red brown hair. It's just one of those really weird ones, I did a DNA test and apparently I'm 1.7% Nigerian and it's all in the beard color. So yeah, it's a difficult one. And if you're going to dye it for a comp, do it 2-3 weeks before. I'm going to have to dye my beard because looking at some of the criteria for a lot of these competitions, and especially when we went to Beard On, everyone who had a grey beard won. And I'm like, well, I can't get it all grey. And because my beard's not 100% consistent at the moment, it's not quite that salt and pepper beard. It's like dark and then sort of like grey in bits and a bit like a badger's arsehole at the moment. And I don't think there's a criteria that says we're looking for the best of the badger's arseholes this year. So I'm going to have to get it consistently one color. But I'm glad you said that there are other brands available because I probably would have gone and got the ginger box for just for men.
Go and have a check. In fact, there's a video on it on DBFC.
Nice. I'll check that out.
Go and have a little nose because I recommended some others. That said, some competitions, I'm sure you'll be all right with Opies because you know the main man. But that said, you can't actually dye your beard for some competitions. If you're in the all natural category, for example, you're not allowed to dye your beard.
But how do they know? I mean, they start perving through your Facebook photos and going, hang on a minute, your beard was grey last week, Dan. Get out of my Facebook profile, man. How do you know?
What are you saying, Dan? Cheating's okay as long as no one finds out.
Yeah.
But to be fair, that's only in the natural category. I don't know what category you're going in for, but
no, for Opies, I'm in the 8-inch. It's just the 8-inch full beard. I don't think Opies have got any strict. I don't think they've got massively strict, have they? It's just a full beard. So, and for the TBBMC, I think I'm still going to do the British business beard. So. I think that's just got to be clean as and tidy, isn't it? So I don't think it says anything about thou shalt not dye the beard.
No, it's usually more than the natural categories when they really just want it au naturel. Like literally, you can't put anything in it at all. That said,
I've got a tip for you there, though.
Go on then.
Just don't wash your beard for about a week, and then get the hairdryer out. Like honestly, like have you put any beard care products in your beard? Not for about a week, but a week ago I did put loads in. I just haven't washed it for about a week, and now it's like literally. Like, and they're like, "Why is your beard so like stuck?" I'm like, "Because it's natural. It's got. I just got like lime juice in there and some berries. Like, I haven't got any beard care products per se. I think branded anyway. I didn't mix up a batch of cereal and stuck some of that in there." For those of you who want to start a beard in a natural competition.
Yeah, it's weird though. I know some competitions they say, you can use the tiny little bit that you'd use normally, but just be mindful. But actually, if you're going to go on a little beard dyeing adventure, absolutely don't make any cardinal mistakes like going too dark or going just from the shelf at Tesco's. Other supermarkets are available, but Tesco's is the best, isn't it, Paddy? Paddy's
club card points are in the post there.
Paddy's one of our keen viewers of the podcast, listeners of the podcast. Big Wicket Tesco's. So yeah, beard mistakes, dyeing, trimming.
DIY. I've seen some pretty drastic stuff where people have like drilled some stuff, and they've had like,
Oh yeah,
they've had some power tools, and they've like literally got like a massive wrap around a beard hair and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
like, you know, if you've got a massive beard and you work on a construction
Be
site,
careful.
you should probably be careful. If you're drilling like there and you're like trying to really look into something, and all of a sudden you see that your beard hair is a bit close to the drill, stop, put the tools down, maybe tie up your beard, maybe get a little hair tie in there.
Well, we're talking about tying up the beard. This is, for me, is a mistake, but it's absolutely down for everybody's personal preference. I think it's a mistake to get too keen too soon with the Viking braids and beads and tying up and that. I've seen people with really short beards trying to poke in some decorative stuff, and I'm like, it needs longer. It needs longer. The ties and the bobbles and the beads and stuff are for the longer beards. I don't think they work so well, but it is personal preference. But I just personally don't think they look better in longer beards. So yeah, beard mistake can be being too quick to tie it up when you've got nothing to tie up. If it blows in the wind, tie it up. If it don't blow in the wind, leave it alone.
But then is tension alopecia a thing with the beard? Like, one of the reasons why I'm wearing my hair down quite a lot more at the moment is because for years I kind of you know, put it up to the top, and I kind of pulled it really tight, and it's actually given me a bit of tension alopecia at the front. It's probably me just getting old and like receding a little bit, but I'm calling bullshit and saying that it's tension alopecia. So I'm gonna
what the fuck is tension alopecia?
So what it is when if you have long hair and you tie it back and you tie it quite tight to the head, essentially you'll be pulling the hairs out, they'll be snapping. So, and what happens is that eventually you just keep pulling them out, and they just take a while to grow. So I have to take my headphones off, but so I've been wearing my hair down in the hopes that maybe I can resolve some of this end stuff that I'm getting, and then I can do a comb over now as well, so you know, you don't really quite see it. But this is the
longest I've had. This is the longest I've had my hair ever, and I've always had a funny bit at the front here. It's always been like that. Not because it's tension alopecia been pulled back. It's just, I think it was my mate Stinky shaved my head when I was about 14, 15. And I'm sure he knackered up the front of it, but it could be natural. I don't know. But yeah, this is the longest I've ever had my hair. And I haven't tied it back. But I'm going to have to start tying it back, especially when I play football and that, because it goes.
Just be careful. You're better for one of those Alice band type things.
They're a bit Jack Grealishy, aren't they?
Yeah, but then that's probably because Jack Grealish is stylish. Just said, "Don't tie your hair back, mate, because you'll end up with a complete Steven Seagal." Look at Steven Seagal. There you go, great. I have to sort my hair out now. I put my headphones down. But look at Steven Seagal. He's a great example. Now he's just pretty much just got a rat's tail at the back of his head.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with my hair, to be honest with you. Look at the state of it. That looks pretty cool. I'm going for the redneck deep south. Now I'm going to get in my truck, drink my beers.
Yeah, I'm
going to shoot some Tannerite.
Eat some gumbo for show. Some gumbo for show.
I'd love to go to the deep south and have some beers and just like get a Molotov cocktail, light it, and then smack it with a baseball bat. Like, it's just fun days, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just pure bands.
Beard mistakes. We're talking about bonfires. Don't burn your beard, and that would be a mistake. Don't burn it in a bonfire. What else should you do? What else should you do?
Beard mistakes. If you are going to do a quick trim with some like clippers, and they're of the rechargeable variety, make sure they're charged before you start doing it when you've got to get somewhere, because there's nothing worse than kind of going.
Oh no! Yeah.
Oh no! Literally, like, and you look. I've got to go out of the house in about 10 minutes, and I'm literally, like, I haven't got time to charge this up, and you're literally just like half a beard. Like, well, do you know, I'm just gonna have to own it and just be like, well, it's just a new style, isn't it? I call it the 4x8.
Why?
Because there's 4x8.
Oh, I see.
in terms of size. Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever done that. That did happen to when we cut my son's hair. He had quite really long hair, and bless him, he got bullied because he's at that age where people were like, are you a girl or whatever. My missus did just say, pull your dick out and just say, look, no, I'm a boy, fuck off. But apparently you can't do that now. Well, you probably couldn't do it then any time. That's probably not.
Just show him your 4x8, so they'll be fine.
Yeah. So we cut his hair, and my wife tried to cut it, and I was like, babe, you can't have his hair like that. So we were like, the only thing left to do now is just to shave it.
Oh.
And he was looking in the mirror, and she literally just went. They literally just died. We were like that. We were like, oh god, this couldn't have gone any worse. He's already in despair, distraught, And now he's looking at himself in the mirror with half his head shaved, and he's just like,
My parents are terrible.
luckily he was 5. So he forgive us and forgot about it quite soon. But yeah, just check that all of the dots are lined up if you've got rechargeable clippers, or refer back to previous advice. Don't do it yourself.
I was just thinking about beard mistake. It's not really a mistake as such, but I was thinking about popping stuff in your beard. Like Christmas baubles and Christmas lights, and like now you can get.
People always say, "Can we glitter your beard at Christmas?" No.
Oh yes, let's talk about glitter beard very quickly because we're out of time. But I once glittered mine for a glitterathon. It's for a charity thing. Raised a total massive amount of £15. Went over to Northampton for this thing. Did it all purple. It looked brilliant, but there's still that, and this was 7 years ago, and there's still glitter hanging around from that. Honestly, don't ever do it. It just does not. It just goes everywhere. You can't get it out of anything. So yeah, a mistake is glittering. Don't get me wrong, it looked wicked, but a mistake is glittering your beard because you just ain't gonna get it out. Or if you do wash it out, like don't take it in the house. Don't go in the house. Oh, it's horrendous. It goes everywhere.
So my wife used to be one of a duo called Pearl and Blossom, and they would dress up as a mermaid and a unicorn and go and do glitter parties for kids and go to festivals and nightclubs and glitter people's faces. And it was everywhere. My whole house, like I think she stopped doing that a few years ago now. And there's definitely still glitter in my house. Like I literally sometimes I like find it in the most random of places, and I'm like, how is that got there? Like literally like there's just glitter absolutely everywhere. You can't escape it. It's horrific stuff. But people always say to me every year, "Oh, please can we put some baubles in your beard?" No. Oh, come on. Where's your Christmas spirit? Fuck off.
I quite like it. I quite like it, to be fair. I'll tell you what I've started doing, a little bit different, is I get a little Christmassy bow tie and just put it on there. And it's still decorative, but it's a bit more class than the baubles. But just very quickly, we did the Christmas light switch on in rugby when we were doing Rugbeards, which was a charity thing. And this was before they'd invented beard lights, and we were just using normal lights in our beards. And we also had flowers in our beard as well, because we've been working with a local flower shop, and all our beards were getting really hot, and we were all like, no, this has got to come out now, this is not safe. But nowadays you can get little proper ones that are designed for it, but we had like proper full massive like wrap around the neck and that, and just absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, be very careful is what I'm saying with your beard. Be very careful. I think we covered. I'm sure there's more we haven't covered, Dan, but you guys that are listening, you know where we are. If you've got any questions, do send them in. And as always, if you've got any subjects you want us to talk about, whether it's beard related or beard mail related or even anything related, let us know.
Just because it's beard mail doesn't mean it has to be beards.
That's not our official strapline. Our official strapline is BeardMail. It's the best kind of mail.
The best kind of mail. But I think that's the thing, isn't it? People automatically assume that because you've got a beard. Like, I know before we do clock off, it was actually quite nice. I was in town the other day, and I saw this gentleman. He had kind of like a really short beard, and he was an older guy, and he had a walking stick and stuff. And I kind of went to move out the way because I thought he was going to the stall that I was currently leaving. And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I'll get out of the way if you want to go shopping." He was like, "No, actually, I just wanted to talk to you about your beard. Fine beard, by the way." I was like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he said, "How?" He's sort of stroking his own facial hair, and he's like, "Well, what would I do?" He's like, "Mine's a bit pathetic, isn't it, compared to yours?" And I said, "It's not pathetic." I said, "It's a good start." I said, I said, "Mine was like that once." I said, "You just got to let it grow. Like, you just need to just be very aware and conscious of the fact that you are going to go through a phase where you do look like castaway, potentially homeless, a little bit scruffy. There is that phase where, especially if you're growing it from scratch and it's all one length, and it is going to look awkward. But you just have to just get through it. A lot of people say, "Oh, I can't get past the itchy phase." I'm like, well, that's why you get such respect when you've got a massive beard, because you've got through the itchy phase, you've got through the ball ache phase, you've got through the bit where it looks silly. Just literally just keep it going. I said, but going back to the barbers, in the early phase of growth, there's nothing wrong with just having it sort of graded as depending on how the beard that you want to have. keeping it trimmed as it's growing. I know some people say, no, don't do that, just let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. But if you are conscious and if you are working in an office environment, you can keep it tidy as it gets longer. Like it will take longer to get a bigger beard, but you can keep it tidy as it gets longer. Personally, I don't shave underneath my neck. Like I'm lucky I don't have a neck that joins my chest. But and that if you want a full beard, try not shaving under the neck. That's the hardest bit to go, because that can get really itchy and it does get kind of tangled and stuff. But if you want the fuller beard, don't shave that bit. Let that bit connect to it, and you get the thickness as well. So whereas a lot of people, they shave the neck all the way up to the jawline and try and grow a beard over the top of it, and it becomes almost like a thinner beard. Nothing wrong with that if that's what you like. But if you want a thicker beard, let the neck grow.
Let's be fair, Dan. They look silly if you do that. You absolutely have to have. Can't say I don't shave underneath mine either, but to start with, you have to start bringing the levels down slightly. So when you are trying to be business-like or you're trying to be neat and tidy, yes, in the early stages, do a little bit on your neck, but bring it down lower and lower and lower, and it should be it's like a finger above your Adam's apple to start with. But I mean, your cheeks here and there, that's the only places that you should be doing a little shave. Once your beard gets to sort of this length, which is 2 or 3 inches, then you can stop shaving underneath and let it all come out. But I mean, I know what you're talking about. I actually had really bad curls on this side for months because it just wasn't long enough and it wasn't heavy enough to weight down like it is now. And for months I always had that. And I've got a little swirl of crown here or some sort of weird thing going on. But now I've managed to grow over it and grow through it and get through it. But yeah, you're right. There was a time, but it was so long ago, I don't think about it, where I used to get so annoyed. I used to always just have this like fish hook just bit here, and you couldn't do nothing. There's no balm, no heat, no super glue in the world was ever going to get it down because it was just too short. You have to be patient and let the weight get it. But yeah, loads of tips available in DBFC actually.
Damo's Beardy Fun Club. If you're not a member of Damo's Beardy Fun Club, quick shout out. You should be. Private UK only, right? UK only Facebook group for the Beardy Fun guys. I am a member of DBFC. I'm one of the early members of DBFC. I've taken part in lots of challenges and stuff like that, and I think it's a great group. So definitely check it out. And that's
also, you should buy some rune silk stuff. Everyone should buy rune silk actually. While we're just kissing each other's ass.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if you went over to runesilk.com and bought something. It's not like we're sponsoring the BeardMail podcast or anything, but we do have some pretty nice stuff apparently. So it'd be nice if you could purchase some stuff.
I just burped live on your plug. Sorry.
That's fine. It's burgling or whatever it is that you say.
We'll have to talk about it one day. Anyway, we've got to go, mate. We've got to go. We're all done.
Burgle off. I've got to go home and eat some dinner. It's like time to go home.
Thanks, Dan. I'll see you again for another podcast soon. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Give us a follow, share, and all
subscribe,
that.
Share.
Bye now. Bye.
Thanks for listening, guys. Take care.
I'll see you in a bit. That's in a bit. Bye for now.
I was hoping
the bonus word is floss. We're still live. Look at him.
We're still live. Oh, we're live? Oh, you bastard.